Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. This is Rosina Starr. This name of this video is going to be called Toxic Female Friendships Part 2. Yes, that's right, there wasn't enough in the first one. So let's again reflect on what makes a female relationship toxic. For one party, basically, and not the other. And for the person that is more normal and unaware of these types of individuals, right? So the person that is narcissistic as a female is going to burden you with the responsibilities, whether you like it or not. If they don't hold up their end of the deal, like let's say you had plans to do something and they're not there at a certain time and you made the plans the night before, they're going to get mad that you called them because they're having a different problem that doesn't have anything to do with you. Regardless of them not being there, you call them on the responsibility and they say, I can't believe you're calling me right now. I have a problem with my Porsche. I have a problem with my kid. I have a piece of shit that I had a kid with that's not helping me with my daughter. You know what? That's not my problem that you make bad choices, okay? So how about you not take it out on me, supposed to be your friend, and you take the responsibility? Because that was the last time I'll fall for that trick. I really feel that's what it was a test. Usually it's foreign women that try to get it over on American women more than just, you know, a certain type of style that I see extended is they pretend they don't understand or they act like they need special attention, special allowances because they're not from here. I have seen that all happening right in front of my face. And they must think people are absolutely naive and stupid to what they're doing. So anyway, looking here at my notes, I'm going to tell you a couple stories of women that, you know, I have experienced to be this type of person as takers and, you know, the way they end up being toward the end, but they start out super, super nice and so sincere and really, really care about people, right? So this girl named Amy I used to work with at the nightclub, generally during day shift. I know she had a pretty bad looking Honda Civic, and I knew that my boyfriend Adam at the time when I was living there, you know, could help her get some money, and she was also a massage therapist. So she gave us both couples massages. She did it at his house, which was nice and fine. Little did I know they exchanged phone numbers behind my back. And as she left with the money to fix her car, because she needed, you know, she needed help with her car, and I was doing her, you know, a debt of gratitude and a favor because I liked her at work, thinking she was this normal person. She had a live-in boyfriend of 7 years, yet he was a deadbeat and couldn't help her with anything. So at that time, I didn't know till way later on she had done that. But she was also talking to the other guy that was interested in me at the time, Vin, which was really, really strange how she was talking to both of these guys. I noticed at the end of mine and Adam's relationship of me actually moving on from that place. Then, for some reason, she had lost her job at the place we were working, and I guess she was taking the train to work, didn't even use the money to fix her car, so I was like, my gosh. And then she tried to hound and call me and get me my job back, and oh my God, my life is in a constant crisis, and it's falling apart, and I need help, and blah, blah, and I'm just like, I'm sorry. And I had heard that she had done things with my boyfriend behind my back. And I don't know, even to this day, what the truth is, and I really don't even care. All I know is hearing it was enough to just separate me from those types of people. So anyway, that was the end of our friendship. And another one was Ava. I've known her since childhood. You know, we actually lived together. She's the one that introduced me to the nightclub business, went to high school together. She was always rich. I was more middle class, you know, had great parents, or so it seemed. And so she had this idea she wanted to marry a rich guy and have a kid. Okay, a lot of girls think that way. But she's just, you know, I'm not above it. I'm not above anything. I didn't realize what great lengths that she had to step on people to get there either. So we were working one night, you know, both in the VIP area, and there was $1,000 sitting on the table that should have been my $1,000. I worked for it. I brought the customer. She decided to take that $1,000, and along with that money went our friendship. 15, 17 years, doesn't even matter to me anymore. Because I needed that $1,000, And she sat there with like $70,000 on her finger with a guy taking care of her. Well, where's he? If he's a millionaire, what are you doing working here? Nothing is ever as it seems, is it? But the bottom line is, I said to her, it's never going to be enough, is it? She's like, so why are you surprised? And I said, you know what? Just take it. And that was all the proof I needed to not really be a friend anymore to that person. And I really don't have a desire to reconnect, and I've rejected a reconnect from her a couple times, and I never will reconnect because I don't see a point in it. I get nothing out of it, and I don't think it benefits me in any way, shape, or form. So, I mean, when these people are stepping on you and they're taking from you and they're underhandedly, blatantly disrespecting and taking food out of your mouth, basically, don't be afraid to walk away, and that's okay. We're both going to do our own thing. You're living your life, I'm living mine, and at work, if I have to work with that person again, I'll follow the rules, and I will conduct myself a certain way. But we're never going to be on a friendship level. We're just going to be two people working at the same place, because I can't be friends with somebody that doesn't know how to be a friend. A real, genuine, authentic person. And so now that I know that about that person, I don't need to be associated with them anymore unless I absolutely have to be. And the last person I'm going to bring up is my friend Jen. We'll just call her Jenny. I met her working at the nightclub as well. Came from a broken house, broken home. She's a foreigner, so she didn't really know a lot of English. She was pretty with looks, but she was older. Had a child, with a guy that was very abusive and, sold her every lie in the book. And, she had a really troubled, bad past. But, I noticed after she had got with a really rich sugar daddy type of guy, it really changed who she was as a person. And she is no longer that nice, sweet, innocent, caring person that she used to be inside. Because, he bought her a house which had a pool, which was great, and paid it off for her and her daughter, so now she won't have to worry about, struggling to have a place to live, because I know that was important to her at the time. And she's very lucky that he was so kind and generous to her on the way out, because nothing like that usually does last forever. Now, as far as her being a friend, I believe the friend that was a neighbor to her, we'll just call her Sharon next door, was a real burden to her. She really took Jen's kindness for weakness. She laughed at her every step of the way. She made fun of her, weaknesses. She, did everything she could as a neighbor to sabotage that relationship. I believe that woman was jealous because, Jen was younger than Sharon, and she saw, Jen reaping all these benefits but not having to be married to this man, and, buying her boatloads of plastic surgery, and oh my gosh, every day is Christmas, and going to school for something fashion-wise, and, treating to her all of the events that she could go to, and having parties, and, just all this kinds of fun stuff that she could have, right? Well, that came to an abrupt end 2 or 3 years later, and when she got her house, I noticed being in her company, she had totally changed. They tried to embarrass me as a target at a party one year because I wore something that was very hot out by the pool. So they said during a 5-year-old's birthday party, why don't you just wear a swimsuit then? And because it's a pool party anyway, what's the harm? Well, they decided to take pictures and make fun and show the pictures around work, and it's so funny. And you know what? If I'm that popular that you have to talk about me, wow, thanks. Good or bad, at least I get the publicity, right? Good publicity or bad publicity, still publicity. But I just didn't really bother my thoughts with small minds, but apparently these people didn't have anything else to do with their time. And it was funny because, being around Jen really started to make me a better person and help me get out of a bad relationship. I was with Adam at the time, but it also then helped me see who she really was living on her own. It got to a point where I would visit her in the morning just to be a good friend. We'd have coffee. She'd want to leave me there with her daughter for 4 or 5 hours at a time, leave with one guy dressed up like something else, and come back with a different one. And I'm like, oh, it's like that. And she was such a cheap bitch about things. She shut off the air conditioning and the humidity is 100%. So I'm like, not only did you leave me as a free babysitter to sit here with your kid, you can't even leave the air conditioning on to make it comfortable here? Like, really? You're that stingy and that cheap? You know, and then this is a person that spent $30,000 in plastic surgery to have characteristics that I have naturally. Okay? And I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying that's what narcissistic people do, is they pick qualities they like on people and they let you know women pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to look like that, so don't you take that for granted. Or they're envious because they don't have that and had to pay to get it done, and it still doesn't look good because it's fake. Nothing beats real. Guys like to see real sometimes. They like to see you without all your makeup on. They don't want to see inner tube lips. They don't want to see, fun bags out into here. They sometimes just like the natural look, and you can never have that after you've altered it to the point where it'll always look fake. And it just takes all of the beauty out of it, because unless you're a plastic surgery person that likes that, then more power to you. But anyway, it's just, I got to a point where I went over there one time, we had plans, and she was never there. And she would yell at you on the phone, or even just ignore you for several days in a row, because she didn't want to own up to her responsibility. So then there was a friend of hers named Alicia. And I said, wow, your hair looks nice today. And she goes, yeah, but it'll never look as good as yours, will it? And I go, what kind of a thing is that to say to me? I don't try to look like better than you, or I'm not in this competition. Like, they all think you're in competition with them, right? These girls. So then it's like, wow, I thought I would get a thank you. And then, Jen was like, you never compliment someone on their worst feature. Well, how am I supposed to know? Well, you just are, and I said to her later on, it hurt me that you said that to me that way about Alicia, almost like I had to apologize for having nice hair, right? And she goes, I didn't say that. I didn't say that to you because that's not something I would say. And I'm like, you know what? This is a woman also at her pool when she had her piece of shit guy over there, which she's never supposed to be over there, drinking vodka out of a Canada Dry bottle to see their daughter for some odd reason, trying to smooth over a fight or just be a neutral person in the middle. I catch her talking to her neighbor, Patrick, who is just really something to look at, the thinning hair, the height, he looked like a gnome. But, she seemed to keep him pretty close in contact. And let me tell you, he hit on me a million times, but I said, no, thank you. But yeah, the narcs will sleep with anybody. I could tell they were two narcs hitting it off together. And she was talking trash about me to Patrick standing there. And I heard every word she said, and he kind of gave her a look like, stop. But she's too dumb to know, and he kind of signals. And she saw me standing there, oh, I didn't mean it. And what she said was, you should never get in the middle of two people that are divorced because you don't know what it's like. You've never been married. And she was just saying bad things about me. Like, I tuned it out because it was very hurtful. But since that day, I will never talk to her on any kind of level. I know she's probably still on my Facebook somewhere, but that's up to her to sit there. But she used to make beautiful dresses. She has some great talents, but she'll always ask for it back. She'll always want something more. She'll make appointments to break them with you. She used to be this kind, caring, compassionate person. And now all I see is greed. All I see is hate, and all I see is envy in her. So, it's like she'll try to be helpful to get to know new people, but then the new people that you know that she knows, you don't really want to know anyways talking to them. So, to be in Jen's world, no thanks. I'm going to have to pass on that one for life. So, I can't tell you how freeing it is not to be a part of any of these female narcissistic relationships anymore, and how well I am progressing on my journey in life. So if you do find people making and breaking plans all the time, not reciprocating with any kind of emotional stability or taking any accountability or responsibility, acting offended if you'd even bring it up to try to drag you into their world or make it a big deal when there really isn't one to be made of, just do yourself a favor, guys. Just stop. Just stop the relationship. Just cut them off. Block them without warning. Remove them without getting any kind of explanation. You know, and it's always going to be, can I have this back? Can you call me? Well, I didn't hear from you, so I didn't know. It's always going to be something that's your fault always. So don't ever get that messed up. And if you want to be in a one-way relationship where you're always going to be blamed, you're always going to have to take their burden of stress or their rants or raves, and you don't have any kind of say and your feelings just don't matter, it's more like an escape for you to get into somebody else, good luck. But eventually it all gets old. But if you have any stories of narcissistic female friendships, please share them in the comments, or you can email me at rytenow666@yahoo.com. I'd love to hear them. I've received a few emails, and thank you guys for reaching out. Really appreciate all my subscribers. We'll see you next time. This is Rosina Star.